everyone. We are back. This is Tom from Cerulean Bay, and this is Tropical Escapes at Home. Thanks so much again for tuning in today. We really appreciate time out of your busy day to listen to us and to get inspired. And we're here to give you all the tips and tricks and everything we could possibly share with you about how to create those tropical escapes at home. One of the things we wanted to touch on today has to do with sentimental value. I think it's a topic that gets overlooked. Sometimes when people are getting into redecorating or they just really want to do that particular room or corner in a really unique way as a space that they can retreat to and just de-stress from the craziness of this world, we want to highlight the importance of sentimental value, because one of the things that we really strive for is to get people to save money where possible. And that means taking a close look at what you already have, from the smallest little decorative pieces to the largest pieces of furniture. Sentimental value is important. And if there are pieces that were passed down in the family, or maybe you bought something that was on a super special trip and you've had it like forever and it just really means a lot to you, or that special someone gave you a gift and it really means the world to you to have this, those are things we strongly encourage that you find a way to incorporate that into your tropical scene, whether they're in tropical nature or not. You can have pieces, like decor pieces or home furnishings that really are not in a tropical style, but you can still incorporate those in. There's a way to get them to blend in where they're not going to stick out or look odd. We just really love the idea of sentimental value, though, because regardless of what your piece looks like, that's where a lot of emotion is. That's where a lot of connection is. So I think to kick things off, it's important to look up the definition of sentimental value. It's one of those words that you hear and a lot of people don't really give a lot of thought to it. I know it can go by the wayside with me. So I took a minute to look it up. And there's a great definition which simply reads as: sentimental value refers to the worth of an item based on its emotional significance or personal memories, rather than on its monetary value. It often relates to objects that hold special meaning for an individual, such as family heirlooms or gifts. So I thought that was a really cool definition. And it is a topic that I was planning on bringing up in one of our shows. I wasn't quite sure where I would fit it into our schedule. But then, something happened this week, which was really, really cool. And it really made me decide to move this up in terms of priority. And what happened was we have a customer who she spent a bit of time in our online shop, and she came across a particular kava bowl, which we will get into what those are in more detail in another show, but it is a carved wooden bowl from the South Pacific. The ones in Fiji sit on 4 legs, and they range in a wide variety of sizes, and they're primarily used to make kava, which is a powder that's made from the root of a pepper plant that is ground up into like a tea, and they mix it with water and they repeatedly soak it and squeeze it in like a cheesecloth type of material. And then this is something that's passed around and you drink it like a tea. It's a very communal thing to do. And it's got a very relaxing effect to it. It's not a drug. It is legal here in the US to have kava as well. But there's a lot of kava bowls out there that are for decorative purposes. And those are the ones that we try to get. And when we can get them, because they're super hard to get sometimes, when we do get them, we put them up in our store. And there was a couple that I had got that were a really unique design, and they had these beautiful carved sea turtles on the edge. And when I was in Fiji and I found 3 of them, I bought all 3 and I brought them back. And then I was trying to get them from the store afterwards, and I was told that this particular style wasn't available anymore. And I had later found out that that particular wood carver who was making those was an older guy who had passed away. Well, I had sold 2 of them, and then there was one left that I had. And this customer from California, she placed the order and then sent me a very heartwarming email. It was sad. She let me know that her parents had recently lost everything in the Palisades fire. Pacific Palisades is a suburb of Western Los Angeles, for those of you who don't know, but it's a beautiful area there just between Santa Monica and Malibu. And a lot of it burned down in January, and her parents lost their home. And she said this particular bowl meant a lot to her parents. The family had taken a trip to Fiji some years ago, and her parents had bought it there. So when she found it on our website, it struck me as being the exact same one, especially when I saw the picture she included in an email to me. I thought, oh my God, that's the same bowl that I have, the exact same bowl. And it even looks like it's the same size. It was about 12 inches across. So I went ahead and filled her order and sent it to her. And she was very grateful. And she sent me just the nicest note that, her parents were going to be thrilled when they saw it. She did confirm that she received the bowl and that her mother started to cry. She was super happy. And that just really meant so much to me, and it just kind of made my week. And I was so happy that I could just play this little tiny part in my customers' happiness and in the happiness of her parents, all the way out there in LA. They've just gone through this unimaginable loss. And that a simple kava bowl from Fiji, really meant so much. And I happen to have one. So it was really, really cool. And these are pieces that they've been near and dear to my heart for years, ever since my wife and I came across them, because they're just unique and all. But the fact that they were able to find one and bring it home, and then they lost it, and here I was able to replace it, that really meant a lot to me. So I thought, sentimental value, that is a great topic. It kind of reinforced the consideration that I had about bringing it up on the show. So yeah, I moved it up to today. And I think it is something that people should really look at. They should consider when they want to create their tropical space, their personal place to escape to. When something you might have is hard to replace, or maybe it's not made anymore, it almost takes on that much more value, because it's not something that you can just run out and replace if you drop it and break it, or if it gets stolen, or in this case their home burned down. You can't just run to the store and replace it. So these are things that I strongly encourage everybody listening to just take a look at in your home. Be very grateful. Thank God that you have them, that you have these things that can mean so much. And if you're able to incorporate it into a redesign in your home in any style, that you might want to do. And obviously here we're talking about tropical design and style, but it's really worth doing. And it just goes to show you that, things in life can happen that are completely unexpected. And if you lose something that's just so treasured, it's just such a sad thing. So what I encourage everybody to do who wants to create their own little personal retreat, your own little escape at home, as you're going through that corner or that room, see what you can repurpose, what you want to keep. And this would obviously include pieces of sentimental value, whether it's just a little tabletop decoration of some sort, or it's an entire piece of furniture. Even if it's not in a tropical design, I think it's really worthwhile looking to see how you can make it fit. Because one of the goals, one of the results that you want to achieve when you've created your own tropical space is that it really speaks to you in every way possible. It brings to life all of the positivity, just relaxing energy. And when you have items of sentimental value in there, it adds all that much more power, positive power to the space. So take a look at that. Go through your home, everything you have. If it's something that is maybe stored away that you've forgotten about, see if you can repurpose it into your new space. Um, and then if there's something that has sadly happened, get online and look. See if a replacement piece is available out there. This customer out in LA, she found me. If that happened, then I know I'm not the only one out there that could help somebody replace something that really, really means so much. Yeah, they become more valuable monetarily, depending on what it is. It could even turn into a true collectible. But for me, that's not what we're talking about here. That's not something that you can put a monetary price on. When something's become literally irreplaceable, to me, that just highlights my point all the more that, hang on to it, treasure it, and enjoy it in the space that you do create. So, having said that, one of the points that we really like to emphasize too is when you get into mass production, if you're going to go out there and buy anything new for your space, we really encourage people to stay away from things that are just cheaply made, mass produced. When you see something that there's just sheer volumes of the same thing and how every other person in that same store can buy it and walk out the door with it, to me, that just reduces the meaning or the value. I'm not saying that everything in your space needs to be so unique that it's an authentic original and that there are no two alike. I mean, that's obviously silly and not possible, but don't as you're shopping around, don't fill your space with things that are generic or that just are so easily replaceable. There's a lot of stores out there that carry mass produced stuff and some of it they do have nice pieces. There's At Home here in Houston, there's Kirkland's Home Store, I think it's called. There's a few home stores out there where they just have a lot of stuff. A lot of it's made in China or different places in Asia. And yeah, you can find some neat functional pieces, there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure that you do look for some authenticity. Pieces that are made in a specific country from a local artist. And if you can't find it in our store online, I mean, we certainly don't carry everything. Check around and see. There's a lot of other people out there that have things for sale, or they scour the planet in their own way because there's a particular country or a particular artist that means a lot to them, and they buy whatever quantity they can get and they make it available to people out there. It is worth getting online and doing some hunting around and some digging to see what real authentic handmade creative piece speaks to you and then use that. If you are somebody who unfortunately has lost a particular piece or something got damaged or, just whatever, and you no longer have it or it's no longer usable, looking online too for replacement pieces. If you know who the artist is, maybe they can replace it. Maybe they can create another one for you. This particular family in LA, they also lost a wooden lover statue, which is also a Fijian carving. And she sent a picture of it, and it was not a very clear picture, but I had seen that carving when I was in Fiji. I remember seeing it in a particular store, but they don't have it anymore because I checked. And again, these are artists. They carve certain pieces. Maybe they move on to other styles. In the case of this bowl, the carver passed away. It doesn't mean that you can easily just, have one shipped from Fiji and, that there's replacements all over the place. But I offered for her to take a look at one that we have. I have one left in stock. It's a similar style, but it's not the same thing. It's not an identical match. And I told her that if this particular piece doesn't work, no worries. I mean, you should only buy what really works for you. And when she said no, they would go ahead and hold off and, maybe say if they could come across a replacement piece or if I ever came across something that was more of a match, I could let her know. And then it occurred to me, I'll just contact some of the wood carvers that I know in Fiji. I took the picture, cropped it, kind of cleaned it up as best I could, and I've sent it to a few to see if they can replicate it. And I let my customer know that. And she was just so happy that I'm even going that far out of my way, which to me, it's not going out of my way. This is what I do. I just love to help people in the capacity that I can. It doesn't take me hours out of my day. It's taking a picture, sending it to a few people that I know in Fiji who do beautiful wood carving and say, hey, can you make this? Can you help us replace it? So I'm waiting to hear back. Hopefully they can, but that's how much sentimental value means to me. So I think that, it's not something that should be discounted. And when I see how much something meant to someone else, it's just a reminder to me to be very grateful and thankful for everything that I have, for everything that my wife and I own, for the home that we have and everything that's in it. It would be absolutely tragic if we lost our house too, as it would be for anybody, and if you just really think about all the special pieces that are in your home, if something happened, how sad that would be. So I'm very glad that I could do this. And I just wanted to share this message with you all today. So to my customer in Santa Monica, if you are listening, you know who you are. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of some much needed happiness for you and for your parents with everything you guys are going through. That it really, it's heartwarming that I could help. And regarding the lover statue, I'll let you know when I hear back if we can have it replicated, and then we'll have it shipped here. Regarding the names that were engraved on there, I think we'll let you guys do that if we can get it, because in the picture, I can't see where the names were or what style of engraving was used. So you guys would be able to do that. But hopefully, let's get that piece back here first. So I think now that I'm thinking about this, a blog post on the lover statue, that could actually be a great topic too for a blog post and a podcast, because in many cultures around the world, including the South Pacific and several tropic ones, the concept of romantic love or love for family and friends is huge. And they symbolize it in art. And there's a lot of great art forms out there. And we've only had this lover statue. And again, they're very hard to get. It's getting things out of Fiji is sometimes a challenge, but because those wood carvers are busy, they have their families and they live lives like we do. And they have to take kids to school, and some of them work second jobs. Some of them do farming on the side. Some of them also work at resorts. So, they're not sitting at home just taking orders from people like me who need 4 kava bowls or 3 lover statues or some warrior clubs or whatever. It's a challenge. They have to find the right wood. They have to find the right stains. They're very careful in what they do. The work is very painstaking. They take their time. Nothing is rushed. That's what I love about working with people from Fiji, is they're very, very careful in what they create. So I think getting some lover statues here, maybe some other art forms that symbolize that could be, yeah, I think that'd be a great topic for a blog post. So, and then, if I have enough content for a show, we'll do one of those too. I think that would be really cool. Yeah. So I think for today, we'll go ahead and stop there. We've got a number of other topics that we're doing for some separate shows. But I also wanted to let you all know that we're moving to a new podcast publishing schedule, which will be early Monday mornings. Right now, we've been publishing on Thursdays, and we've just had some other things that have come up, which have caused us to need to reshuffle our schedule over here. So what I want to do is have our primary podcast episodes published early Monday mornings. And then any bonus content that we create, we are aiming to have those out either every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. It's more of an as time permits type of thing, because we're also getting into video too. And that's something that is new to us. And there's going to be a bit of a learning curve with it, but we want to make video available in addition to these podcasts, which are in addition to the blog posts that we have at ceruleanbay.com. So we just really encourage you to find the format that you prefer the most, whether it's reading, listening, viewing, and listening. We really just want to reach as many people out there as we can. And it really means a lot to us that you listen and that you share the links and visit our website. It's our little business. We're just trying to build it and get it off the ground here. And everybody who listens, we're just so grateful for each and every one of you. For the people that read our blog posts, we're grateful to every reader. for the people who shop in our store. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us in whichever way you choose to do that. And visit us on Patreon too. We do have our tiered memberships there for people who want to support us. Every little bit helps. We're very, very grateful for that too. And the tiered memberships are kind of fun. It keeps us accountable. It keeps us on schedule. There's some bonuses there for the higher tiers. We've got some cool merchandise coming, branded merchandise for Cerulean Bay, where we are going to have some t-shirts and hats and bottle openers and koozies, those little can cooler things, or koozies as they call them here in Houston. So yeah, check us out on Patreon too. But for now, we'll go ahead and let you go. We wish you all an awesome day. Keep those tropical dreams alive. If you have the opportunity to take vacation time and travel, find authentic places to go in the tropics, kind of get off the beaten path there. There's a lot of really cool resorts, beautiful beaches and scenery. The people are amazing. And yeah, we wish you just an awesome, healthy, tropical day. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.